What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another episode of the Hate It or Love It podcast. This episode, now you guys are going to notice that this is an audio only episode. It's not for no deep reason. It's just I was feeling lazy. I didn't feel like setting up my camera. But y'all know that this is more something to listen to than to watch. So yeah, we're going to get into it. This episode, the main thing that I really want to touch on is this PnB Rock, situation. If you guys know what happened, it's really tragic, man. And I have a lot of thoughts on it just because PnB Rock, out of every rapper that died this generation, I would say he felt more the closest to home in this situation. Not even just in a literal sense, but just like, well, I guess you can say somewhat in a literal sense because he's from Philly. I'm from South Jersey. It's nothing for us to go over to Philly. But the main reason I wanted to talk about this is just there's a lot going on. Like, a lot of people has a lot of opinions on this situation. And so I'm not only just going to be talking to this just as a fan, but I'm also going to be talking about the overall state of rap in general, because this situation right here just shows more and more why we're not in a good place as far as rap culture. As far as rap culture, we are in a very horrible place, and this PnB Rock situation just really shows that. So let me get into why I say that this PnB Rock death, it really hits home for someone like me. Now, PnB Rock, like I said, he was from Philadelphia. I'm from South Jersey. And people in my high school, like, we were big PnB Rock fans. Like, everybody in my high school loved his music. And the thing is, this wasn't just us, vibing with an artist like how people vibe with Kendrick Lamar, but you from the East Coast, or like how you vibe with a T.I. or maybe a Big Crit. Like, no. PnB Rock felt special to us because, like I said, we were close to Philly and he had the great music to back it up. Not only that, but we, like, literally people my age that was going to high school with me, we all literally watched him go from, just an artist in the trenches trying to make it out to that successful star that got on the XXL cover. It felt really special because, we actually seen someone besides Meek Mill, because for the longest, it was just Meek that was that big. It was just Meek that was doing all these big things. We didn't have too many big artists, to talk about that's close to our area. I mean, of course, when Lil Uzi got on, he was big, but I think the thing, because I noticed that people that I went to high school with and, like a lot of my peers, we talked about Uzi, we rocked with Uzi, but I feel like we didn't have that same type of connection that we had with Meek Mill and PnB Rock. Because if you listen to Uzi, like, yeah, he's from Philly, but his music doesn't really say Philly. It doesn't really say, like, his music doesn't come across like that. If you listen to Meek or PnB Rock, you get that Philly feel. And you get that feeling. So I feel like that's why we were very connected to him. But, like I said, we were all watching this man go from the trenches to being a star. Like, now, I wasn't on the PnB when R&B 1 came out. I came on around the time of R&B 2, R&B 3 era. I came in around that time because, another big artist around, like, close to here, Fetty Wap, we were hyped because another, like, a artist out of Jersey finally got big in the industry. And I remember my cousin Chris, he's going to be on the podcast soon, but my cousin Chris, he told me about Fetty Wap, and, we were all rocking with Fetty Wap. But then I remember one day, like, he started playing PnB Rock, and he was like, Tevin, you should listen to him because he's almost like a Fetty Wap 2.0. Like, he basically makes the same type of music as Fetty, but, he does it better. So I was like, all right, I'll give him a little listen. I'll check him out because Chris knew that I was really into rap music, and you know, at that, like I said, at that time, everybody was rocking with Fetty Wap. So I listened to R&B 1, and I'm hearing that R&B 3 is coming out soon. So I'm listening to R&B 1, and I instantly loved this guy's music from the intro, because it's like like I know at that time, you know, a lot of rappers was singing and whatever, but his felt like genuine R&B. Like, you know, when you listen to a rapper that also sings at the same time, but at the end of the day, it still feels like a rap song. Like, it still feels just like straight rap. PnB Rock knew how to make that perfect mixture where he'll give you a rap song that just strictly sounds like rap. He'll give you an R&B song that sounds like R&B, and I loved his music because, you know, he could give you that old school type of feel of R&B, but then also he'll give you a runaround where it is that mixture of rap and R&B, but it doesn't feel like one style is taking over. It felt like a perfect, you know, blend of both the styles. So I instantly fell in love with his music. R&B 1, there was only one song on the mixtape I didn't like, but I rocked with R&B 1. R&B 2, not as good as R&B 1 to me. I walked away liking, well, I like all the songs on R&B 2, but R&B 1 felt more special to me. But R&B 2 was really good, and then R&B 3 was amazing. Like, it's not my favorite of the whole series. Like I said, R&B 1, like, I like the whole series, but R&B 1 was the one that I really rocked with the most. But R&B 3 was amazing. Not only, you know, not only was R&B 3 amazing, but, you know, he just got fresh out of jail, and, you know, he was putting in work in the studio. And I remember, now, like I said, Meek Mill and PnB Rock was like the big artists when I was growing up around this area. Whenever Meek Mill dropped a mixtape, album, whatever it was an event. Like, everybody around my way stayed up at midnight, and they would always be tweeting their opinions on like what this Meek Mill project sounded like, you know, when it first came out. Like Dream Chasers 4, that was a crazy time period. Like, that came out during homecoming weekend, and you know, people like, you know, we've been planning the pep rallies and all that for weeks, but he drops Dream Chasers 4 that Friday, like, or actually that Thursday night, basically midnight on Friday, and instantly we got Dream Chasers songs in our pep rally just out of nowhere. And then people banging it when they leaving, coming to school, going to the football games. Like I said, that, like, every time Meek Mill and PnB Rock dropped, it was a moment. So I remember when R&B 3 dropped, like, you know, coming home from school, everybody was banging it off the bus. Like, it was the number one. Like, if every state or city had its own individual chart, they were basically PnB Rock was basically number one charting in Sicklerville. Like, everybody was banging PnB Rock R&B 3 at that time. And he only got bigger from there because, you know, he was putting out little songs here and there. He was putting out freestyles, and he was saying that he was gearing up to release his first album, which at one point it was supposed to be his debut album, Going Through the Motions. That was supposed to be his debut album. And I remember when that dropped, everybody was listening. Like, lunchtime, you would hear people listening to it. In class, before the teacher was speaking and you were allowed to have your headphones in, everybody was listening to it. Like I said, PnB Rock, whenever he dropped, it was a moment. And you could not go, like, after he dropped that album, you really couldn't go a week without at least hearing one of his songs in the hallway or somewhere around that time. So, yeah. After that, shortly after that, that's when he got onto the XXL freshman class. And, you know, it was cool seeing, like, someone that we knew that was close to home finally getting that big look. Like, we're starting to see him working with major artists. We're seeing him connect with other people that we really didn't think, well, not that we didn't think he would make it there, but it's crazy. Like, you know how it is when you see someone from your hometown, or not from our hometown, but when you see someone close to home that you basically watch start from the beginning, when you see them start to reach that success, it's almost like, dang, they really making it. So, and now, like I said, Meek Mill and PnB Rock was the same type of thing, but Meek Mill was going through the industry more when my brothers were in high school. So, you know, Meek Mill was already pretty much on when we got older. But PnB Rock, we were watching him get to that success when we were, you know, in high school and stuff like that. So it felt different for us with that, with PnB Rock. But like I said, it was crazy seeing him, you know, go from the trenches of Philly to being in the XXL studio surrounded by artists like X, A Boogie, Amine, like basically all the hottest artists at the time. It was crazy seeing him there. And, you know, I even remember going to one of my friend's graduation parties, and I think the radio started playing PnB Rock's remix of Unforgettable, and like we were all singing to it word for word. Like, this dude had a hold on the Philadelphia, South Jersey area. Like, he had a hold on us. Everybody was rocking with his music. And I remember when I went off to college, I went to school in Virginia. Everybody asking me, who do we listen to and stuff like that. I'm putting people on the PnB Rock. I remember when he finally did drop his debut album, Catch These Vibes. Like, me and my roommate, who's from Indiana, like, he stayed up with me to listen to that album from front to back that night it came out. Because I was like, I'm listening to this. And, of course, even though I was far from home, I still saw everybody talking about his album. I'm on FaceTime with friends and they giving me their opinions on the album. Like I said, it was always an event whenever he dropped. And like I said, it was crazy seeing this man go from, you know, like, it's crazy. We literally saw him from where he started to where he is now. Like, we were glad that he made it this far. And, you know, when he dropped Trap Star Turned Pop Star, that was another album that stuck with me. That came out in my sophomore year of college. And the crazy thing is, a lot of people don't notice. Like, everybody knows my last girlfriend, but the first girl I officially dated, because I messed with girls back then, but like, this was the first girl that officially was my girlfriend. We were going through, I went through a breakup with her, and I swear, PnB Rock's Trap Star Turned Pop Star, like, more of the emotional songs got me through that tough time, you know, first time experiencing that. And not even just, you know, the heartbreak and relationship songs, like, even, you know, the real, you know, I don't like saying the word, but, you know, the real one songs, like songs for, you know, getting lit, or songs for people that's going through shit. Like, that album really got me through a lot. And even when I go back and listen to it today, like, I still, it's almost like a stamp in time. You know, when you listen to that one album at that one pivotal part in your life, and when you listen to it, it takes you back to that time. Sophomore year of college was probably my favorite year of college. So when I listen to that album, it really brings me back. But this isn't going to be like no full history. Basically, I'm just talking about why PnB Rock was like a special artist to me, because not only did we watch him from the start, but it's also like he made a lot of songs that was pivotal to special years of our lives. Like, you know, we look back at high school and we think about all the memories his songs brought us. So sadly, after that, I don't like to say this, but, you know, I like to be real here. In the grand scheme of the music industry, he fell off. I felt very bad that he fell off, because it's like, this dude had real talent. This dude was making genuinely good music. He wasn't over here, you know, going stale like other artists. And that's one of the big problems with me when it comes to rappers and they finally get on. Like, once they get on, they start to feel comfortable. Like, they just kind of just put shit out without really feeling any passion in their music or anything like that. PnB Rock, he was one of the few artists where sadly he fell off, but even the music he was dropping, you know, you could still see he had that hunger, he had that passion in him. I don't feel like he ever lost that. Of course, with any artist, you're gonna find songs that you didn't really rock with as much, but for the most part, I could still see that passion in him, and whenever he dropped, you know, if I knew it was coming out, I would always go to check it out. And you know, through the years, I've been hearing that he was planning on coming back. That's what, you know, people like DJ Academics were saying. That's what he was saying. He would show like different snippets on his Instagram. Like, I felt like he was really going to make a comeback when I heard the snippet for his song Life Has Changed, the one he has with K Camp, which, why did he give that song to K Camp? Like, that was really his song. If you literally changed, you know, the artist name from K Camp to PnB Rock, it would be no different. Like, PnB Rock made that song. K Camp just gave a feature. Not saying that K Camp didn't do good. It just, that was PnB Rock's song. But I thought he was really going to bring himself back into the industry with that one. But, you know, people weren't really giving him that chance. And then a lot of people was asking for his old style back, like the more R&B style from his first 3 mixtapes. Like, I'm not going to say the title, but, you know, they were asking for an R&B 4. I wanted an R&B 4, and he even teased that an R&B 4 was going to come out. And sadly, we know how his story ended. And it was crazy to see that, because I remember, I think it was like a month or 2 before, I saw that Lil TJ got shot. And I had a conversation with my brother, and I told him, like, if Lil TJ dies, like, not even just Lil TJ, if any more, you know, rappers died to some senseless dumb shit, I feel like I'm just gonna be done with rap, because this brings up a bigger, you know, conversation as far as the state of rap, but I'm going to get to the PnB Rock thing first. So, y'all know the story. He went out, I think he lived in LA. He lived in LA, and him and his girl went to go eat at a Roscoe's chicken and waffle spot. Now, apparently he posted that they were there first, but I saw his story before he died. I didn't see anything about a location, so if he did, he must have posted it and then deleted it. But I didn't see no story of him at the chicken spot. It was really just, you know, him in the car with his girl, and then he posted, like, I guess a blogger or something posted a picture of both of them together, so he just reposted that. That's all I saw. I don't follow his girlfriend, or at least I don't think I do, but y'all know how Instagram be. Like, they don't really show you some people's posts sometimes. So she posted their location, and I guess whoever saw it, you know, they went in, they say it was a robbery, but the way that, you know, this sounded, it sounds like this was a targeted hit. They say that it was a robbery, and he shot him, and from what I heard, he either took his chain or watch. Either way, he went away with something. And the conversation around his death, and there's so many opinions that I've been hearing. Oh, his girlfriend set him up. Oh, his girlfriend should have never posted their location. PnB, why would you go out there when you know that you're a rich and famous rapper? You should know how to move in LA. These LA dudes is ruthless. If you ask me, a lot of the stuff that people are saying is true and false at the same time. One thing that is false, and I want to get this out of the way, is that his girlfriend did not set him up. His girlfriend absolutely did not set him up. I feel like that was a very stupid thing to say because, you know, it's like, she posted the location, and there is a chance that the person that killed him saw her story and thought, okay, I'm about to, you know, hit this lick real quick. There is that chance. But her posting that, I don't feel like she did it with malicious intent. I don't feel like she did that knowing that that was going to happen. Because, first off, why would she set up to get her baby daddy killed, knowing that that's basically how her and her daughter was going to get money? Why would she do that? Come on, y'all. Let's actually think about this. Not only that, but he was an independent artist. This isn't like no label rapper or anything like that where a whole bunch of money is about to come in instantly soon as they die. Like, no, he was an independent artist. From what I heard, like, you know, he was trying to get himself back in the industry because, you know, he had a lot of money things to think about. So it's like, he was not in a position to where anybody would want to like set him up. Like, oh, he dies, I'm gonna get this come up. He wasn't a come up. So let's just throw that narrative out the window. He did not set her up. Now, here's the thing. If he posted it, if she posted it, the sad reality is when people post locations, nobody thinks that that's going to happen because it shouldn't. I see a lot of people blaming PnB Rock for possibly posting it. People blaming his girl for possibly posting it. I don't know if PnB did, but her posting that was not, she did not, I promise you. I bet you. I don't know that girl, but I'm just saying that I highly doubt she posted that, knowing that that was going to happen. Nobody that posts their location would ever think that's going to happen. Nobody. Unless you're looking for that type of energy, but obviously these two were not looking for that type of energy. They just wanted to go eat some food. But then also I see people blaming PnB for being in a dangerous spot in LA because they were saying that the Roscoe's was in a dangerous spot that even the realest gangsters don't even go to. If that is the case, all I can say is, you know, you got to know what's right and what's wrong where you live. But that's not me putting blame on PnB Rock because the whole situation is nobody should have to worry about that. Then someone else was saying that he should have tucked in his chain or he should have never, you know, went around flaunting. Why do we have to think about this shit? That's the thing that's making me mad. Everybody's putting blame on the girl. Everybody putting blame on PnB. And yes, there is that room where you can say that that is something to think about. I'm not denying that it's not something to think about. But y'all are putting it on them like they asked for this shit to happen. Like, no, nobody expected this shit to happen. Nobody wanted it to happen. Because nobody should be expecting that. We shouldn't be afraid to walk around with chains on. We shouldn't be afraid to, and this isn't just about PnB or anything like that. Even regular people can get robbed for shit that they got. Nobody should be afraid to walk around with the shit that they got on. Because for the most part, y'all work to get there. And that's the sad thing about it. PnB Rock, if he was wearing his chains and shit like that, he worked for that shit. Like I said, a lot of these rappers come from, you know, places where they don't have that much money. A lot of rappers come from areas where you can barely even get your next meal. You got to struggle hard as hell to even get a next meal. And once they make it, they should be able to enjoy the money that they got. They should be able to spend it on whatever they got. So like I said, it is sad because there is that room to say he should have thought about it. There is that room to say she should have thought about it. But at the end of the day, because everybody seems to be putting the blame on them, yes, it's something to think about. But in reality, it shouldn't even be anything to think about. It shouldn't be. And that's the sad reality of it. But, you know, I saw the reports that he got shot. I went on Twitter. And another thing that's killing me with people is this trend where they have to share rappers in their dying, like in their last few seconds, or even, you know, autopsy photos. Like, I remember when X died, I went on Twitter. Not only do I see people celebrating his death, which is like, you guys are sick and twisted people to be celebrating anyone's death, but to be sharing a video of him basically sitting there lifeless in his car instead of, there was no people in the medical field around. It was just literally somebody walking up to his dead body and recording it inside his car. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? And then, okay, at least granted, in the PnB Rock video, ambulances were there, medical people were there. But it's like, why do you want to record someone laying in a pool of their own blood, fingers twitching? That shit is sickening. If I seen someone dying right in front of me, my first thought is not gonna be, oh, let me pull my phone out. My thought is either gonna be, get out of there, or if they need any help, maybe I can help in some way, shape, or form. That's my thoughts. But hey, what the hell do I know? What do I know? But that shit was just sickening, seeing that video, and the fact that people are sharing it like it's anyone's business to see someone losing their life like that. Like, just even thinking back on that day, it's just very sickening that someone would even share that shit, that somebody would even feel like recording it. That shit is sickening. But the sad thing about it is there's always that chance that when someone gets shot, that they could make it. Hell, 50 Cent got shot 9 times and he's still here. Lil TJ, like I said, Lil TJ got shot and he's still here. To the point where he can even make a damn song inside his hospital room. Like, that's crazy. But when I saw that video of PnB Rock, something, the way that he looked in that video, they were saying that there was still a chance, you know, there was still a chance that he could make it. It was a very slim chance, but they were saying that he could probably make it. But when I saw that video, I was like, as much as I don't want to say it, it does not look promising. I hated saying that because, you know, PnB Rock was a special artist, but it didn't look like he was going to make it. And hours later, I'm looking on Twitter to see if there's any updates. People saying, oh, pray for PnB Rock, pray for PnB Rock, pray for PnB Rock. I'm looking at multiple people's posts, trying to see if there's any updates on them. I refresh Twitter and all the R.I.Ps start pouring in. And I was like, quit lying. Yo, y'all better stop playing. Stop playing. But it wasn't until I saw Rolling Stone. Was it Rolling Stone? It was some, you know, reputable publication. Once they posted it, I was like, shit. So yeah, it happened. See, this is bigger than PnB Rock. Because, not like, take away that he was a special artist for people in my high school and people in my area and stuff like that. Even if you take that away, The state that rap is in is sickening. X, King Von, Pop Smoke, Young Dolph, Juice WRLD, Mac Miller, Nipsey Hussle. I'm pretty sure there's people that I'm missing. And now PnB Rock. So many goddamn names I just said. All of them gone too soon. Fredo, Jimmy Wapo. So many damn names I just named. All gone too soon. Too fucking soon. And this is why I'm saying this is a bigger conversation in rap. This is why I'm saying rap is in such a horrible place. Because I remember when I first started to get into rap music, I remember getting into debates with people that says, oh, rap is just about sex, drugs, and violence and all that. I was like, yeah, there is some rappers that rap about that shit, but then also you got the more positive ones. And when I first got into rap, being a positive rapper was also just as cool as being a gangster. Like, you had the Chief Keefs along with the Childish Gambinos and the Kendrick Lamars. But nowadays, there was some shift. There's a certain shift in rap music where now all the rappers that people care about are either just using themselves as objects. And by that, I mean these female rappers that aren't really being empowering. They're just making themselves a sexual object. That's not fucking empowering. Empowering. Or whatever. My speech. Whatever. That's not fucking empowering. Turn yourself into a fucking object. Or these rappers that constantly rap about killing, drilling, smoking on packs. That shit is not positive. It's not. It's sickening. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like, you know, I'm better than thou or anything like that. I'm not going to sit here and act like that. Because I like King Von's music. I like Lil Durk's music. I like NBA Youngboy's music. I like Pop Smoke. I like, you know, listening to that gangster shit. But I also like listening to the Kendricks and the Coles and the Logics. See, I feel like back then there was more moderation, but nowadays, if you rap anything positive, you're fucking corny. You're lame. Like, there's a lot of rappers that just tries to put out a positive message and people be like, oh, they're corny, they're lame, turn their shit off. Hey, turn on that King Von. Turn on that Lil Durk. And you got these fucking lil ass kids and white people and people that lives in the suburbs. Like, you got all these people that never has been anywhere close to that life, glorifying it, trying to emulate what they hear in the music because they feel that's cool. That ain't cool. Y'all look like some dumbass fools. And this shit really makes me mad because, like, it just pisses me off how these people go through real shit. Like, these rappers go through real shit. They come from horrible situations. And people want to gas it up and glorify it like that's what they want to do their whole lives. Most of those people don't want to be in those situations. They want to leave. They want to do better. But then you got these rap fans glorifying the shit out of it. And what I'm saying is, look, there is room to talk about that stuff. But only it's the end goal. Because I feel like gangster rappers back in the day, they rapped about the shit that they rapped about, whether it was, and I feel like the gangster rap of back then is different from the gangster rap of now. Because gangster rap back then was more just telling true stories of what was going on to, you know, shed awareness, but also to help themselves and their families get out of those bad situations. it's almost like the end kind of justified the means. They weren't being like, of course rappers was dissing people and all that back then. That ain't nothing new. I hope you guys get what I'm saying, but I'm saying that, you know, they did this shit, but once they got on, they realized, all right, I gotta, you know, do better for the people around me. I gotta let this dumb shit go. I'm better than this now. But these newer rappers, it's like once you get that success, I just need to be more disrespectful. Like, I said this before in the episode where I said this isn't your beef. Lil Durk should not still be dissing his ops from Chicago. Yes, I know that's how he came up. But once you get to a certain point, it's like, all right, man, it's time for change. It's time for growth. It's time I let this shit go. Not saying that you can't rap about that gangster shit, but it's like, we need to stop pushing the negative narrative too much. That's what I'm simply saying. I don't mind listening to gangster shit, but also we need to push more of a positive message. Cause it's ridiculous that Kendrick Lamar's album was called one of the worst albums of the year to a lot of people, all just because he's rapping about mentally getting himself better. The fact that he grew up in such an environment and now he's trying to learn how to let go of those traumas and those things from the past. How is that bad? How is that worse album material? How? And then you got the same people, and I bet you someone's gonna come in my comments talking about some, oh, but even the gangster rappers is talking about their traumas. They lost people. They're expressing their feelings too. So why is the gangsters allowed to talk about their real stories and their traumas and how they're trying to get over it? How come they're allowed to do it and it's considered cool, but another rapper who's trying to go about it in a different way is considered corny? I don't get that shit. I don't get it. I feel like rappers, we need to stop glorifying drugs. We need to stop glorifying, you know, violence, dissing dead people and all that shit. We need to let that shit go. And I'm not saying that it didn't happen back in the day, but the fact that it did somewhat happen back in the day and it's only gotten worse, we're moving backwards. We're not advancing. We're moving the fuck backwards. And I feel like this is also deeper than just rap, because to me, and this and all of this didn't really start to click until Pop Smoke's death. I remember when Pop Smoke died, and you know, he posted that, I think, Dior bag or something. Like, he posted something and it shared his location. It's like people got to see his location. People came in, robbed him, and killed him. But when you really think about it, same with X, same with PnB Rock. When you think on these situations, I feel like in a lot of these situations, this wasn't just a robbery. I feel like they wanted to kill that person. Because let's think about it. He got something that I don't have. So I'm going to take that shit. Not just physically from him, but I'm going to take his life as well. That's what's in the minds of a lot of these people. But why is it in the minds of them? Because we come from communities that America don't care about. We live in a system where they don't give us much. So some of us goes to a point where we're like, all right, we're going to kill somebody that has what we feel like we should have. We're going to rob this person. We're going to sell these drugs. We're going to kill these people. Don't y'all see that this is what the fuck America was built on? And I'm not trying to sound like no conspiracy theorist or anything like that. It just, when you really sit back and think about it, y'all are fighting over blocks that America owns. Y'all can talk all that gangster shit. I don't care. I really don't care about none of that gangster shit. Look, I'm a fan of Lil Durk, I'm a fan of like a lot of gangster rappers, but if they hear this, I highly doubt they will. But if any gangster hears this and they get offended, I don't give a fuck. You guys are fighting over blocks that don't fucking belong to you. You can say all that Pyru and Crip shit all y'all want. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to y'all gang, but sit back and really think about this shit. Like, y'all are fighting over blocks that fucking America owns, and they want you to kill each other. That's the crazy thing. These rappers, these people in these communities, they killing each other, and that's what they want. They want us to kill each other. Black people, actually anybody of color, really wasn't supposed to get success in this country. When you look at the origins of this country, we weren't supposed to get success. So it's like, when you do reach that success, not only do you have to worry about the racist people that still exist in America, not only do you have to worry about the system, but shit, now you also got to worry about your own kind who fell into the trap and that wants to kill you because you got out of that bad situation and you got what they want. Like I said, this is bigger than PnB Rock. This is bigger than rap. This is just crazy. This is insanity because it's sad. The drugs, the killing, the robbing. We're not doing anything to help ourselves. Like I said, we're just moving backwards. And we need to do better than this. Not just for PnB Rock, not just for these rappers, not just for, you know, all that. We need to be better as a society. Because with everybody placing blame all over the damn place, like in this, and I keep using this PnB Rock situation because everybody's pointing fingers at him, her, them. They keep pointing fingers at everybody, but we're not acknowledging the true problem. It's the culture, and it's the country. We're moving backwards. We keep pushing negative narratives. We keep killing each other. We keep falling for the trap that America was built on. And like I said, I'm not trying to sound like no conspiracy theorist or any fucking thing like that. I'm not trying to sound like that. But my thing is, we need to sit back and really think about this shit. Because what we doing now, we're only going to wind up destroying ourselves. Hell, starts with these rappers. It's going to get to a point where, I mean, regular people is still getting it, but it's going to be, it's just becoming more of an issue. And I don't have the solution. But I am willing to start that conversation that will lead us to a solution. I don't have a solution, but one person can't come up to a solution with these problems. We need to, you know, fix this as a community. Because what we're doing right now, this ain't it. And I already know that if anybody does stumble upon this episode, they're probably going to talk hella shit. Gonna leave ignorant comments, say a bunch of shit that maybe won't even make sense. And everybody's entitled to their opinion. But all I'm saying is that instead of calling me whatever you want or saying whatever you want about me, how about we talk about a real solution to these issues? Because whether you want to say that it's not the music, whether you want to blame it on whatsoever, this is still an issue. You can feel how you feel about what I said, but at the end of the day, the issue is real and we can't ignore it. And obviously we can't ignore it much longer because I shouldn't have named all these rappers. And I'm only speaking on rappers. If I looked into more research on just regular people that go out like this, I bet you this list would be 10 times longer. But A, what the fuck do I know? I'm just a guy in his room with a microphone, just talking. But what do I know? Moral of the story of this episode. First off, R.I.P. PnB Rock. R.I.P. to all the rappers that lost their lives to this dumb shit within our culture and within our country. R.I.P. to all of them. But moral of the story of this episode, we need to do better. We need to do better. Because all I know is the way I see this world going, and you know, it's not even just tied to this music shit. Like, even if you listen to the first episode of my podcast, I was talking about how me and my parents was going to a 4th of July event and someone just started shooting during fireworks. They purposely waited until the fireworks to start shooting shots so that people could get confused. They turned a wholesome family event into something that was scary for people. Not necessarily scary for me. Because personally, the way I think is whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. If I was meant to die that night, God had a reason for it. But here's the thing. When I think back at that moment, I feel more sorry for the people that was around us. I feel sorry for that woman that was having to cover her baby while being barricaded by millions of people. All because one person started busting shots. So this is bigger than rap. And I'm just saying that we as people are moving backwards. And all I know is being a parent must be the hardest job in the world. Not just because of what y'all do as parents, but also because of the world we live in. Knowing that you or your children could walk out that door and they may never come back in. And I say that because I always talk about how I want to be a parent someday. And the way the world is right now, if I was a parent, I know I'd probably be losing my shit. I know I probably would be. Just because of a lot of the things I've been seeing in these past few years. And it is so disappointing that this is the world we live in. So, even if you don't want to, even if you take away these rappers and shit like that, we got to do better so that future generations and future kids don't have to live in this type of world that we currently live in. Because like I said, this world is disgusting and we need to do better. This is a very different episode of the podcast because as you guys can see, this is something that I think about a lot and that this got me very fed up. But, you know, that's one of the reasons I made this podcast. To start conversations and to say the hard truths that a lot of other people won't say. So with all that being said, this is Tevin Jameer signing out. See you next time on the next episode of the podcast.